Hello and what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. This is part 9 or episode number 9 of the How to Beat Team Liquid at TI7 series. If you guys are just joining on this episode, I am doing a replay analysis for every single game that Liquid played at TI7. This is to honor them as our TI7 champions, as well as help me work on my replay analysis skills. And I just thought it was an interesting concept, and the views haven't been too great on these videos because it's more high-level analysis, so it's not for everybody. I think this probably be interesting if you're like 5K, 4K, or something like that, but if you're like 3K, there's not much that you can learn from it if you're not interested in this type of thing. But anyway, enough of that. Let's just get into the draft analysis real quick. Again, I usually start out these videos doing the full draft analysis, and then throughout the video itself, I normally skip through the replay depending on how the game is going, whether there's like important things going on or not. But anyway, this is another Liquid IO game, and I've done a lot of these games already. I think I've covered at least 3 or 4, maybe 5 IO games from Team Liquid on this channel, and it's the same story every time, really. I just covered one on episode 7 where they played against Infamous, and there's a reason, guys, why no team in the main event, the main stage, allowed Team Liquid to get IO. Every single time it was banned out against them because teams just, they didn't have an answer to it. And you'll see here, as I'm pretty sure they win this game. I don't think they actually lost a single game with IO at TI, but LGD are ready to go up against the IO. They purposely let it through here. They knew that it would be picked, and they're prepared. They picked the Nyx Assassin and AA. Not necessarily like super hard counters to IO. I would say Nyx could be potentially a super hard counter to IO later on in the game throughout the mid game, and AA as well prevents all the healing, whether he hits the IO or the target the IO wants to heal. So they're off to a good start in terms of preparing themselves for the mid game, but the way Liquid wins with IO is in the laning stage, and then they transition it into a really good mid game. So the question is, LGD can counter the hero in the mid game, but how can they fare against Liquid's early game, first 10 minutes to 15-minute mark? And the heroes that they did ban out instead of the IO are the Nature's Prophet and the Earthshaker. So they knew that if they took out these 2 heroes, Liquid would either pick the Nyx or IO, or not Nyx, right, KotL or IO, and I think that they were prepared to pick Nyx to counter either of them, because I do think that Nyx is pretty good against KotL, and he's also pretty good against IO. So I can see what LGD are attempting here. They're seeing if they can knock Liquid down by taking out their strongest hero, and I think this is the most interesting IO game to cover of all, because it seems like LGD are prepared and they have something in mind to deal with either Liquid's IO or KotL here, and it will be a 3rd pick, Sven. And this shows to me, I'm pretty sure this Nyx Assassin will be a support, and at this point I think LGD have a really strong tri lane, and I do think that they have the intentions of doing an aggro try. They're banning out Mattelman's heroes, the Lycan and the Lone Druid, and they want to play aggressive with these 3 heroes. They have 2 stuns with the Nyx Assassin and Sven, and then the Chilling Touch will allow them to dish out a ton of early game damage. But the way Liquid play the IO, though, is they send him to the mid lane. So if Liquid can read this aggressive lane coming out from LGD Gaming, they'll just send their carry to the mid lane, and you can't really tri-lane mid the way you can tri-lane in the side lanes, as you won't have any pulls or anything. It won't be a full tri-lane mid. I mean, you could send 3 heroes there and they can gank, but the supports can't really just sit there and sap the experience, right? So we'll see. And they're already prepared to go up against this super aggressive lane, so they're going to pick a Tidehunter. This is something they picked up in the last game for Mind Control, and Tidehunter not only is good against heroes like Sven, that can just get a lot of their damage reduced from the Anchor Smash. In addition, he always has the Kraken Shell to remove the stun, allow him to get away, allows him to tank really well, and he could also jungle if worst case scenario he gets super zoned by the AA or Nyx if they do attempt to go for the safe lane tri lane, but I do think that a potential aggressive tri lane is coming out from LGD. But either way, I think Liquid are prepared. They have a save hero in the Tusk as well to help lane up in the side lane if need be. And just looking at Team Liquid's bans, they're looking to take out the Void for the Void AA combo. If you look at the first two bans here, they take out Night Stalker and Kunkka. I do think that LGD Gaming really like these heroes. I think Victoria is one of the best Kunkka players at TI. I think they're one of the teams that picked up that hero the most, and instead he's going to be most likely playing the Nyx here. It still could be a offlane Nyx, but I'm pretty sure it will be picked up there by their 4 position support. So we're entering the second picking phase here, and I think that they will pick up their offlaner here next. So we'll know if this Nyx will be offlane based on this next pick. And I think that they want an offlaner that will have a favorable 1v1 matchup. And oh no, they're actually going to pick Maybe's hero here, Queen of Pain, 4th pick. So they're saving it. So we don't know yet whether this Nyx will be a offlane or a support. It could still go either way, honestly. And I'm definitely banking on support, but I don't know why they would pick the Queen here. She definitely can get bullied a lot, and they do have the overall last pick, so they potentially can look at all of Liquid's draft, see what they have for Miracle, and try to counterplay it. But they're just going to go in and pick the Queen here. Maybe afraid that Liquid would last ban it. I don't know about that, though, but now Liquid, if they draft this properly, they can get an advantage in the mid lane, which will be huge, as that's how they like to play it. IO dual lane mid. And I do think that the way Liquid want to set up these lanes is carry mid that can match up against this Queen of Pain. Oh, never mind. What is this? Broodmother pickup for Matumba Man into a Sven. They don't care. Did it? I actually never watched this game before, by the way. I think I've watched, or at least
10 seconds to pick your hero.
If not the whole thing, I definitely tuned in here and there for all of the games so far, but I'm pretty sure I'm completely fresh on this game. I haven't watched or like seen anything about this game. I didn't even look at the full draft, so this definitely is going to be probably the most interesting analysis that we have on this channel yet of Team Liquid. I do think this game, definitely, there's a lot to learn from, as LGD clearly show that they have an idea in mind on how they want to approach Team Liquid, and Team Liquid going out with the full cheese here. 4th pick, Broodmother. And now this could be Brood mid, and then they can send IO to roam. And I think Brood does match up okay against Queen of Pain. He has to watch out with his spiders, though. Queen does have kill potential onto the spiders, and definitely don't want to feed her all that extra farm. Last ban for LGD will be a Bloodseeker, so this is going to be a weird game. The laning stage could be approached in multiple ways. Brood could be sent mid, or she could be sent one to the side, one of the side lanes. But ideally, she doesn't really want to lane against Nyx Assassin AA Sven. They have a lot of kill potential into her, and that will affect her farm significantly. So they really want to put the tide up against those 3 heroes. But again, Broodmother is not really good in terms of swapping lanes, so I do think that Brood will be mid here for sure. So this is going to be the first game, I think, that I'll see GH not dual lane mid. And do Liquid actually win this game? Their draft looks, like, in my opinion, really bad. Really bad. I don't know what they're going with this at all. Pretty sure LGD actually won, so they did lose at TI with IO. Again, that's the only prediction, because every single game I've seen they won, but I actually haven't seen this game before. So the result of this game is still unknown, and I'm definitely excited to see who comes ahead here. And they will last pick in Axe, so actually saving their last pick there work out in their favor. Now, like, Axe does okay against Monkey King. He does okay against Brood, does okay against Tidehunter. They have the advantage in that matchup. They have really strong tri lane that they can put anywhere. And again, Broodmother doesn't want to rotate in terms of her lanes. So it's going to have to be Monkey King in a side lane. And I think if it's Tri v Tri, he loses that. If it's Tri v Axe, I think with proper rotations coming in from the Nyx, that could also be a one lane for
10 seconds
LGD.
to pick your
And
hero.
again, they can decide to swap at
Moron.
any time and meet Tri v Tri if they really want to. So I think LGD just comes ahead in laning stage. Like, Team Liquid definitely have to pull out all the tricks here if they want to win this game. Because throughout the mid game, they also just win as well. One call into Brood, she's dead. They have the combo with the AA Blast. Nyx Assassin can always be stalking for a Brood. That's a real easy kill for them at any point in the game. They have Queen of Pain with the mobility, the extra damage as well, and Sven just cleaves through these heroes. I mean, even Tidehunter will die to Sven once he gets the items up, and I don't think they have the ability to stop Sven from farming is the thing. And I mean, LGD just got Liquid's number here. They drafted them into a corner, I guess. I don't understand the Brood pick at all, and it's definitely not a game to pick it up. So we'll see how things play out right now. That's an interesting
Why
courier.
aren't they doing anything? They're just standing around.
It's like
Relax,
a
Morty.
Chithulu courier. Can't say that word. Anyway, that will be the Monkey King. That's not the actual courier here. And we're gonna see 11 TP out. So at this point, yeah, it will be a Matoma Man mid Brood. I think this is the best lane. If they're trying to win this lane or trying to win this game, they definitely have to send the Brood mid. I feel like if Brood goes to either of the side lanes, this game is just lost. So GH will go for the bottle rush, and he will be supporting a Monkey King. And LGD going for standard lanes. They know that with this tri lane, they can shut down their Brood pretty hard. And they're just going to send Axe to the off lane, where she can fare okay. It's going to be Axe Nyx, though.
Ooh, 30 seconds until
So I think it's going to be dual lanes for LGD, I believe. Nyx Assassin, nice two-man stun. And oh no, the Sven AA is heading up here. They might decide to aggro try, which I think is probably the best for LGD. They have a really strong aggro try. They're going to run right in, get the kill there onto Miracle. Oh, dead. Did start with the Cold Feet level 1, so they're going to have that extra stun as well. Won't have the extra damage from Chilling Touch, but they'll have 2 stuns and Chilling Touch. That's pretty much a kill anywhere. And I mean, Io doesn't want to dual lane mid against, or with a Brood. Doesn't really do anything. And with that kill onto Miracle, it will signal him to walk towards the bottom lane. So they will be avoiding this aggro try coming out from LGD, but against LGD can just swap lanes. They can TP bottom. I mean, they can even just have Axe lane for the first couple of levels, then swap later on. And I do think there will be a lane swap here. There's no way that LGD won't swap the lanes. They're going to shut out the Tide for a little bit, and they'll find the opportunity to swap back bottom and shut down the Monkey King. Because Monkey King is... I actually don't understand the Monkey King pick at all. This is insane. They're swapping immediately, actually. Ame. LGD Ame. Already TPing to the bottom lane. And Miracle gonna TP top. That's really smart from Liquid. And I was saying they need to pull out all the tricks here. And they run Miracle bottom. As soon as they see the Sven TP, they TP top, so they'll be able to avoid. And again, they cannot lane this. They cannot lane the Monkey King against the Sven A. It's even Sven A alone, Sven A Nyx. I really like that they kept the Nyx up here, though. They didn't TP everyone immediately, so they only rotated Sven A down here. Now Sven A can get a couple levels bottom, and definitely I can expect them to rotate back top to shut down this Monkey King. And as I said, even if Monkey King is just against Axe Nyx, he will be contested. He won't be free farming. And Io also had to rotate up top here. Well, in the mid lane, Man should do fine, and then he can transition to farming real fast in the jungle. Mind Control, did he actually walk all the way bottom? I'm pretty sure they're preparing for another lane swap already. So this is going to be musical lanes at the start of this game right now. So let's see how Brood is doing mid here as we open up the last instant. Nice, he should be doing fine, yeah. Early levels, Brood should be fine against Queen of Pain. Even later on, he's fine. He just will have to leave the lane at some point. He can't lane with Queen of Pain having like I would say level 5, the spiders are just done for, and you can't really show in lane too much, otherwise you'll just feed spiders. And you can't play aggressive, of course, because Joker's have a blink to get away, and you see she's already getting a couple of assets here and there with the Scream of Pain on the spiders. So I think that Liquid played this early laning stage really well. I mean, I just watched the game where was it Leviathan picked Monkey King and DSJ just completely got dumpstered in the laning stage. And let's say they had a slightly better lane than, oh, they're actually gonna come ahead here. Don't underestimate the Monkey King IO. They get the Jingu stacks up and they will get the kill there onto Axe. Overestimating his ability there to go in. Really good play, and Liquid showing their early game prowess. I mean, if they laned this improperly, if they didn't go for the lane swap, they didn't run the Monkey King bottom. I guess Kuroki just killed himself there. They didn't run the Monkey King bottom, waited for Sven to TP, and then TP to avoid the Sven, avoid the tri-lane at all costs. They could have just easily got run over in the laning stage, and it would have been a really hard lane for them. But instead, they're going to start off with a kill there onto the Axe. It was not first blood though, as Miracle did die level 1. But definitely a start. He did go for the 2-0-1 build. I do think putting too many points up in Jingo is a mistake, and I like this build coming out from Miracle. And Monkey King will actually lane fairly well against Axe. Sure. Oh, nice block there from Kuroki. And I think we get another kill here. Snowball coming on to the Axe. And did bring GH in with him. How about that? Did GH have a cell? No, he didn't. He just got his bottle filled up. So I really like this play from Liquid so far. Definitely giving them the best start they possibly can with their draft. And I think if they do get to a good start and snowball it, they can win this game for sure. I mean, I was calling it a straight out draft loss, but they just can't let the game slow down and then play in LGD's favor. They have to play their game throughout the whole game. If they ever let LGD play their game, I would say it is a lost cause, as it will become incredibly difficult for them to do anything. But so far, so good for Team Liquid. I'm quite impressed, actually. So how did they get to this point? I mean, it all started with the lane swap, and LGD are not going to bother. They're actually just going to keep this Sven bottom. He's going to farm, which is actually causing them a lot of trouble, as they have to rotate the A top, and as a result, Mind Control is getting a lot in the bottom lane. So it's nice to see this from Liquid, actually, how they execute this early. It's extremely impressive, and LGD clearly had a plan in mind, but it's falling apart at this point, as Liquid was able to play their game up to this point after the first blood. But this is what I like to see. They need to do this. Like, just kill the tide. I mean, it's almost, I would say it's too late to shut down this Monkey King, but it's not really worth it anymore, and they should just put these 3 heroes together and force Matoma Man to leave, or Mind Control, I mean. Because Matoma Man actually will farm this jungle. Because again, I said, once he hits like about level 5, he can just jungle, and he doesn't really want to be in lane with Maybe, because of his spiders will just get killed. And you see here, he's playing very safe with them. Now he can play aggressive, not that the Scream is used, and he's actually going to back away. Old 11, trying to take the rune from GH. Rune will actually spawn bottom. Victoria takes the rune. Kuroki snowballs there onto Maybe. You can see that Brood does okay in this matchup. Like I said, Queen of Pain can last, but it does need, she does need ganks. Because if it's true 1v1, I think Brood wins every matchup, pretty much. And you see there how much damage Matoma Man was able to do onto the Queen of Pain with his mass army of spiders. Played that really well, waited for her to use the stream, and then went in with the spider army. And now that, yeah, you can see there though, any misplay though, and he loses his whole spider army, which is a really big deal actually, because it affects his farm speed as well. And the supports will play around mid now that they secured Miracle's lane, which I thought was a really big deal. It's hard to secure Monkey's lane, and I think that BSJ can learn a lot from, or Team Leviathan in general can learn a lot from how Liquid play this early game if they want to play Monkey King. I think he's a strong hero, but you have to lane a certain way. So, if the lane falls apart, he just becomes a useless hero. But now he's level 6 Monkey King, he's happy, and he's farming up a storm in this top lane. He actually wins against the Axe, because the Axe calls him, right? He's attacking him, so he's getting those Jingu stacks up, and he'll just hit him with a big crit, heal up all the damage that he's taken from the spin. And what happened? Where was that? Oh, bottom lane, they tried to play aggressive, which I think is a mistake. Well, why was he in so deep, though? Oh, Mind Control was contesting the stack. He didn't want to give it to Sven. Jeesh scouting out. He sees the queen. He's in trouble. Got the tether off. And Roki ends up tanking the game. Snowballs in. Saves his 4 position. And GH gets out. Alright, that's nice to see. That's a huge stack though for Mind Control. This is really big. Liquid, again, I gotta say that they played this early and really well. Now what Tumbleman will do is he just wants to show up to the mid tower. Anytime he's taking damage, he's gonna go into full farm mode. Io just dies there. It's a Queen of Pain. Again, LGD still have a lot of gank potential in all their lanes, especially once next assassin gets level 4. They can really kill anybody at any time, and Liquid just has to play the I'd say not really necessarily split push, but pretty much split push, as it's more split farm and avoiding fights type of playstyle, because Broodmother's not going to be split pushing. She can't split push. She's just going to be farming up a storm, maximizing her farm in the jungle. What GH will be doing is just securing lanes, so anytime someone's in trouble, you can see that GH as well as Kuroki are really hurting on experience. Mind Control will go back, and they missed the D ward barely, which is huge. They're still trying to stack up more here for Mind Control or Matamaman to farm up. Notice Matamaman is just maximizing his farm. I think what's really good is Miracle had a lot of time to just farm by himself in this top lane. He will be contested now as 11 as well as Victoria comes in, and maybe as well. I think maybe has a lot of potential in this game to make plays. And here, if you should get a kill here onto Miracle. Oh, no, Miracle gets away.
Middle tower is under attack.
Snowball onto the creeps. He did go for the more fighting-oriented build. Went for the farm build, he would max out the tree dance. Monkey King does have a variety of builds, and during this time with rotations for Queen of Pain, Man was finally able to split down the mid tower. And again, he can't really split push without his team drawing rotations like this, but when he does see the rotations happen, he will be able to take the tower. This is insanely well played for Liquid, actually. Kuroki comes in and wants to kill down to Axe, and now LGD is actually falling apart. And this is Liquid playing their game. This is how these heroes want to play. Monkey King wants to be able to just be on his own and show up with numbers advantage onto the enemy heroes, get those kills, and he pretty much can 1v1 any hero now on the side of LGD pretty much. And as long as he doesn't have too many heroes in the lane, he's happy. Same thing with Broodmother, same thing with Tidehunter, and they have one of those heroes in every single lane, and LGD are not responding properly. What they need to do is use their number advantage. And I think at this point, like, Sven should actually just go blink, and they just need to run at heroes, because Broodmother is not going to TV rotate. Like, he just won't. And a Monkey King can, but not really. And LGD not playing up to tempo with Liquid right now. Definitely botched the early game laning stage a little bit. I think they needed to either contest, like they need to just commit with their aggro try onto a lane. But instead they kind of played wishy-washy, then tried to play against Monkey King after he already got a couple levels up, which where he was the most vulnerable was when he's like only level 2 or level 1. But he got a couple levels bottom, and then he went top, made sure he survived the weakest point in his laning stage, didn't contest Brood at all, so Matama Man has actually been free farming, which is huge. That hero farms so fast in the jungle. Kuroki eats a gank there from the next assassin, who's level 6 now, and Axe is building a Vanguard. I don't know about that. Finally, Ame looking to play aggressive, has Mask of Mana's up. Full steal and stacks, it's huge play. As, yep, he still has a ward here, so he knows that stacks are happening. So he sees GH in this area, steals this big camp stack, but now he's in a lot of trouble. Gets caught by mind control, stuns a couple spiders. Ame's definitely getting it. I don't know if that was worth it. But Axe still farming up, but I feel like he should go Blink. I think LGD is really confident that they take this late game, so they're not even worried, it seems. That's how they're playing right now. What LGD are doing is telling to me, like, they're not even worried. They're like, you know, whatever. Liquid can win the early game. Brood can farm. We don't care. We win the late game. We're just gonna do our thing. It's gonna be totally fine. Which they have a point.
Can anyone hear me? It's a killing spree over here.
Miracle there with the Sonic Wave, gets a kill there. Kuroki gets died in a punch now, but this is kind of his role for Liquid, honestly. Just creating that space. And they did use Ravage there just for a Nyx kill. Oh, locate there onto the Axe. Didn't even need him. And this is actually potentially bad, as I think GH might be in trouble here. Being camped there by AB, and there's no Ravage. So AB comes in, stunned there. GH goes down, and does he have, yeah, he has 2 points in the casting and fight. This chance is going to be super annoying. It'll be enough. It is enough. The Miracle's here, and that's definitely worth it. You lose 3. Kuroki comes in, doesn't have the Warrior's Punch. Matama Man healed up to full. Thing is, Broodmother is actually really strong against Sven. She's a good diffusal buyer. First of all, we'll get rid of the Warcry. In addition, Mischance is huge against Sven. I mean, she can pretty much 1v1 Sven with God Strength, because the Mischance messes him up so hard, especially once he gets maxed out. 60% Mischance, and he doesn't ever buy an early BKB. And he's going for the Halberd just to deal with the Brood, which I think is correct. Pretty much the only way that LGD wins these fights, well, not the only way, but they need someone to initiate on the Brood and stun her, and then they need to burst her right away. But it's hard because they have the IO as well, and these heroes are actually pretty annoying to deal with now. Miracle can like man up in his ultimate. It's a lot of armor, and it's hard for Sven to deal with. Tidehunter, of course, is just super tanky. He's going for a Solar Crest, which will be really annoying. Well, he's not rushing it. He's going for the medallion first, and he'll build it into a Blink Dagger afterwards. Eventually, this will be a Solar Crest. It's going to be huge. And now, Liquid can do a thing where they can actually just play really aggressively, because they have really good heroes in terms of moving around the map. Not only do they have the global ability from the IO, Monkey King is always in the trees. Broodmother can move across the map really fast, of course, through webs. Barely get a kill there onto Ame. Now LGD are starting to play their game though. They're grouping up and taking these fights. They definitely need to stick together. They can't split up at all, which will favor Liquid if they choose fights properly and look for pickoffs when the opportunity arises. So what Liquid can do right now is they pretty much can run down lanes. Notice Matama Man, like he knows he's in danger, so he's just farming off the map right now a little bit. But if any hero shows up alone next to Matama Man, he pretty much can kill them with the help of relocate. But right now he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. So he gets called there. It's totally oh my god. That's a 5-man Ravage. Blink reveal from Mind Control. And again, this is where Liquid shine, when they can provide vision for other heroes. This time it was Broodmother. Force LED Gaming in, and this is a team wipe. Alright, we need to do a recap of this. What the heck? The trees, what the? Alright, we're gonna ignore that for a second here. We can't ignore it actually. It's taking over the screen. Yeah, this is a replay bug with Monkey King. He's a so, okay, this is what happened there. Mind Control was farming aggressively here. He drew some rotations. He knew he wouldn't die. His IO was nearby. He needed to draw the enemy out and get them to show themselves. Gave vision, allowed Mind Control to get a 5-man Ravage. Then they came in with all their heroes cleaned up and didn't time their damage properly. Again, they got the call there, they got the stun, but they didn't have the damage. And as a result, Man survived easily, and they came in there and put themselves in a bad position. That was a full team wipe, and I'm pretty sure Liquid actually win this game, I guess. Holy crap. I'm super impressed, honestly, now. This is not easy to execute. I mean, it all went down to the early game, and they played the early game, I would say, perfectly. The only hero that was feeding kills away was Kuroki. 0 deaths there onto Matoma Man, 1 death onto Mind Control, 1 death onto Miracle. That was just first blood, so he hasn't died actually since level 1. Now he's hitting himself in the trees. Of course, maybe he's still having a really good game though. 3-0-2, has his Orchid very soon. And LGD not out of it by far. Definitely impressive play there from Liquid, but still have a long game ahead of them. Again, the way they want to play this game is they run individual lanes, or heroes down lanes, bait LGD's rotations, or the ideal scenario, right, would be for them to bait a TP or something like that, and then for them to abuse that. But the other scenario there, as you saw, is they can just bait LGD's movements just by like either a smoke or something like that, draw them out, get vision with like spiders or anything, Monkey King in the trees, and then go in with the Ravish and take a fight once they have the positional advantage. And you see there, Miracle saying the trees will scout out that ward and they'll get an instant D ward. Liquid already looking to push themselves aggressively, actually, even without the Ravage. It's cooling down. Notice Man will do his own thing, though. He actually went for Blink Dagger. I like this build-up, actually. Allowed him to initiate.
Oh, jeez, he's dominating.
Unfortunately, Miracle gets caught out, and he won't go down to maybe. I think LGD, I mean, they can still win this game easily. I think that their draft is a lot better, and there's a lot more forgiving than Liquid's draft, for sure. At any point, they can still win this game, even if Liquid like gets super far ahead somehow, and they're not. They're only about 1,000 ahead, and I'd say that's not enough. But, I mean, they still have many options. The way that LGD and Liquid play this game are pretty much polar opposites. LGD want to just go in there and just jump. They need to just call the Broodmother, kill her immediately, and win the fight like that. If they get rid of Brood, they pretty much can win the fight. She's the majority of the damage. I mean, you don't count out Miracle, but it is a huge kill if they can take Matoma Man out. And they'll pretty much win the fight every time. But he's been playing this game really well, actually. And Liquid going for a smoke. The Monkey King ultimate is still here as the replay bug, unfortunately. But right now they have the Blink Dagger onto the axe. I think once Sven gets his blink, they're actually pretty good, pretty set. They have 2 initiators, and they can really just blow up these backline heroes as well. Ideally, they take out the Tusk or the IO, but nice relocate out there from GH. Kuroki manages to survive. And what do they do here, actually? This is actually really good, I think, for Liquid. LGD actually have to back off. Liquid goes in with the ultimate. Call. And Snowball did not save GH. And they do get the Brood, and that's a really good fight for LGD. That could have ended up being bad, but they found the Brood. I like how they didn't commit onto the sports with everybody. They only committed the Queen of Pain. That's all they needed, and they'll eat the Ravage with the Axe and the Queen. But they had Sven in the back line. They found the Matoma Man. It is huge. They go into Rosh now. So yeah, that could have gone either way, but it was a lot easier for LG to execute that. As you saw, if Matoma gets caught out, he's immediately dead. Other the strength of the Sven with just 2 items, didn't even have a blink dagger. I think that was a really impressive play from Ame. We can go back and watch that again and see what happened. It's a bit chaotic. I didn't catch it all with my camera. So you see, you got to relocate it out, or well, I actually went a little bit too far back, but we'll see. Oh, never mind. Yeah, so the call ends up missing there onto IO, which is a huge deal. And they Ravage, hit 2 with it. The Snowball doesn't manage to save, but look in the back line here, and Broodmother shows up. Wants to go into the back line. Fortunately, runs into too many heroes. Bit of a mistake there from a Tumble Man, and he just gets caught out, dead, and it. And they lose Miracle as well. As I said, once Tumble is dead, Miracle doesn't have much of a chance. And now LVD will go into Rosh. This will be a free Rosh. Without Ravage, they can't contest, and it's going to be an Aegis for Maybe, who is building into a Shiva's Guard, which will be a huge pickup for him. Now, Broodmother really needs a BKB, and she's not really close to it. Has pretty much only one component. Actually, only one component. Once the axe get blade mail, that's going to be huge. Maybe is fat, top of the net worth in the game. Sorry, I didn't open up the net worth earlier here. Right up there. Broodmother, of course, is also really farmed. I mean, he's also really high level as well, but look at Maybe. He's keeping right up there with the Brood, which is insane, as Brood has a 25 experience gain talent. AA is doing AA things. He's done his job in this game. Again, this game is pretty difficult for Liquid to play. Honestly, I'm surprised they made it past the laning stage the way they did. But again, LGD definitely know what they're doing. They have a plan, and Queen of Pain camping the axe there. However, Miracle almost killing the axe in return. GH relocated a little bit late. Was it on cooldown? It wasn't. It was just a little bit late on that. Yeah, definitely was looking somewhere else. Wasn't. Definitely could have saved Miracle there. Bit of a misplay from GH. Rare to see that actually. Unless the replay is bugged or something, and it was on cooldown. Because level 1 relocate is 100 seconds. And did use it for this fight over here. So they lose Miracle. But this whole time though, Man's farming is really important. Even though that fight didn't go well, Liquid still holding on to their map control to a certain extent. Now LGD trying to take that away though. They're going for a smoke gank, looking for a kill. Transition that into a tier 2. Broodmother is still able to farm up the jungle. Initiate directly onto the Tide Hunter. They're trying for the burst. The heal from GH will do nothing as he got hit by the A blast. And this is dead IO as well. Good smoke rotation from LGD. They will get 3. Fortunately for Liquid though, Man gets out of there. Has a blink dagger, is very slippery. Hard to catch him. The only reason he died here is he actually blinked into death. So that's going to be tier 2 down for Liquid, slowly losing their map control. And I say once they lose too much map control, this game is over. So they need to avoid that.
Those little rascals are hitting Dyer's bottom
Miracle is going for Diffusal Blade, as Man has not had the ability to farm it up. Needs his BKB. He could potentially go for Diffusal after, but as now they need some type of Diffusal builder to deal with this Warcry, which is actually huge, as most of their damage is physical.
Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
The DD rune onto Maybe. They're looking to push into the bottom lane as well, as the Ravage was used in that fight there, so that was a huge loss for Liquid. It's 2 tier 2s gone now. I believe the tier 1 also was still here, so yeah, that was a tier 2, tier 1, and a tier 2. 2 tier 2s and a tier 1. Slowly their map control is slipping away, but Man was still able to farm the jungle like this, and I think he'll be able to farm for the most part. He has to be careful of the Nyx assassin scouting him out. As Queen of Pain is getting stronger, I think Nyx and Queen can kill Man alone at this point if he doesn't have his BKB up quite yet. doing a good job of scouting out with his spiders. Catch a glimpse there of Ame. And now Croaky going to get caught out, and it's a dead Tusk. And he's gonna go in aggressively. Victoria doesn't manage to catch anybody, and they're looking to go into mid potentially. Next Assassin has a blink now. That's 3 blinks, 4 blinks. If you count Queen of Pain, it's a natural blink. And they're going for mid racks. Nitro doesn't have the Ravage. Eats a stun, eats a mana burn. Hey, however, gets caught in the back by the Broodmother, but Broodmother gets caught. Doesn't have the BKB, and now Matome in a lot of trouble. As he is no buyback. I think this game for LGD definitely played out how I expected it to. Kind of. I definitely thought that LGD would get more ahead in the early game. Liquid played the early game really well, as they do, but it didn't matter this game. Again, they were one bad fight from losing the game at any point, and it happened here. Should have just let Dio die, didn't try to fight at all. But they tried to fight. It definitely was not a bad setup, unfortunately. The top man pretty much had to play a perfect game, messed up once, and now they lost. Well, didn't lose the mid racks yet, so I mean, game's still gonna play out. That was a huge death there onto Matoma Man. First death was huge. Second death was even bigger, as he won't have his BKB for a while now. He has to respawn. He's really high level, of course, so that's a long death timer. Nice to farm up his BKB. Again, this hero slows down and farms significantly every time she dies, especially or loses her spiders, because she definitely relies on the spiders to keep up that farm speed. So he has to rebuild up the spider army, slowly farm through the jungle, and he's a really good hero, but there's a lot of finesse that's required to play this to its full potential. Maybe he's definitely carrying this game. 12-0-4 on this Queen of Pain. Has a perfect game so far, and I mean, he's so farm at this point. I still don't see how Liquid win this. 7,000 advantage for LGD. They've lost their map control, and look where their heroes are standing. This is what happens when LGD take map control with their lineup. Liquid are just stuck. And this is similar to my last game, Liquid's last game analysis. But with the roles reversed, this is what they did to Infamous, and now this is what's happening to them. The only option right now is to kind of split push and maybe try to fight as they smoke there looking for something, but as long as LGD just stick together in their gank squads and push out lanes with the Queen of Pain, who's really mobile, I mean, there's not much that Liquid can do. Miracle does have his... Oh, they find a Ravage onto nothing? Yeah, they just got out with the spiders to see the Queen of Pain, but she's way too tanky with the war cry. Ame did pop the BKB, they get the call there onto Matoma Man, and alright, LGD. All they're doing, they knew. And this will be a clean wipe for them. That's 5 heroes dead. I mean, Liquid are just grasping at straws at that point. I think the game was already over, but they had to try something. They went for that yank there. Didn't work out. BKB the Ravage. I don't even think they saw this man having BKB there. And maybe also had a DD rune. It's pretty unfortunate. They lose 2 racks there, and I believe this is game. I mean, speak the rest of it. I'm pretty sure they call it GG.
They've seen better days. Dyer's middle barracks are getting
They take one last fight. But I mean, to recap, this game is pretty much won. I'd say in the drafting stage for sure. I mean, so many games are won like that, but this game, I don't know what Liquid are planning. They're crazy drafting these heroes. The fact that they even got to the point where they're actually ahead slightly, it was insanely impressive, and definitely have to give them props for that. But it didn't matter. LGD didn't care, it seemed. I mean, they saw like they actually didn't care about the early game. Isn't that classic LGD to not care about the early game? Lose lanes, win games. Classic LGD. I mean, maybe he did win his lane though. I mean, there's not much that a Brood can really do against Queen of Pain. Definitely was zoned out a little bit once the Brood got his Spider Army up, and definitely gave him a little bit of annoyance. But other than that, I mean, still had a great laning stage, and then transitioned it to a bunch of kills. Hasn't died yet in the game. Perfect game for maybe. I mean, Liquid, they're looking for anything that they can do, but it's very hard.
Dire's top tower's under attack.
And hope for one last fight with Miracle's BKB. And there you go. Smoked. It's gonna get broken by the Nyx or something. And yep, there it is. He gets the blink out as well. Baits to the snowball, and there's the Sunstone. GG is gonna be called. And that's 4 kills. GH relocated, tried something, but that's gonna be good game, well played. And just from the start, it seems like LGD knew exactly what they're doing. They gave Liquid either the eye or the Coddle they wanted, knew that Nyx Assassin would match up really well against those heroes in the mid game. The early game was whatever. They got the first blood onto Miracle. They ended up feeding a couple of kills to Miracle, which didn't end up mattering. The Axe got a blink when he needed to. They got their farm that they needed, and they grouped up, took one good team fight, transitioned that into an Aegis, took all the map control they needed, tier 2, tier 1, tier 2 in quick succession, and after that it was an easy game for them. It didn't look like Liquid had a chance after that, again, just because of the draft, and as a result, I mean, LGD take the game. I think there was a lot to be learned from this in terms of how to beat Liquid, but I think most of it was in the drafting stage. I mean, you can't hope that Liquid go crazy and pick these heroes every time. So I think that Kroki definitely was trying something out here. It didn't work out, and they're going to take this loss in the group stage. But anyway, this is going to be it for this video. Again, most of this was on draft. So many videos that I've covered have been on draft, but this is another one. I think it was definitely interesting to watch the laning stage and see how it played out. I think to just see how Liquid actually dealt with the lanes that were not in their favor and actually came ahead was incredibly impressive. Unfortunately, one bad move, and when you have the draft loss, game's pretty much over. So that's gonna be it. And if you guys liked the video, make sure you leave a like down below. And if you like this type of content, again, I'm doing a replay analysis on every single game that Liquid played. So next episode will be LGD Liquid 2. So make sure you subscribe for that if you want to see more. And that's going to be it. And I'll see you all next time.